All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mindgasms. So, I am Andrew, aka Anti-Censorship Mindgasms, for the purposes of this video. And I'm going to talk about the alarming, basically, censorship bill called Bill C-11 that has been read and proposed in Canadian Parliament, which is really bad news for Canadian YouTubers like me and plenty of others, of course, because it's basically going to make it the case that your video will get taken down if you show a trailer for a movie that's coming out, which a lot of people, including me, do, or if you don't focus on Canadian content enough, or if you're not kind enough to marginalized groups of people. So it's just a whole bunch of fucking ways to censor people, and your views will get suppressed in the algorithm if you don't do that. So I'm going to show a video of a Canadian YouTuber I follow testifying against this in Parliament. I'm just going to read the summary of the bill here and show the petition that you can sign, and I'm going to include the bill and the petition in the description of this video, so please sign it so that this will not pass. So I will start off with this guy named JJ McCullough, who's a Canadian journalist testifying in Canadian Parliament against this bill being passed. All right, here we go. So basically that, as you see there, it would put YouTube under the authority of CRTC, the Canadian Media Regularity. So it means that the Canadian government would have control over Canadian YouTubers, which is super fucking stupid and authoritarian. Yep, nationalistic rules. It has to be Canadian enough.
Hello, friends. My name is JJ McCullough, and I am a professional YouTuber from New Westminster, BC. Today, I hope to teach the committee about Canada's vast YouTuber community
No one says a boot
and why
other
so
than
many
him.
of us fear Bill C-11, a bill we did not ask for, do not need, and threatens the success we've already achieved. My channel's subject matter is mostly cultural analysis with a focus on Canadian identity. My video topics have ranged from a biography of Wilfrid Laurier to the history of potato chips to why different political parties use different colors. My most popular video is about a Dairy Queen in my community, which has been viewed over 8 million times. Professional YouTubers like me earn a living from in-video advertisements, with ad revenue generally correlating with the popularity of our videos. A YouTuber's subscriber count can offer a very rough estimate of their channel's potential audience size. My channel recently passed 750,000 subscribers. In total, my videos have been viewed 230 million times. Now, these numbers might sound impressive, but I am actually one of this country's mid-level YouTubers at best. According to socialblade.com, I am merely the 414th most popular Canadian YouTuber. Indeed, according to Social Blade, there are over 100 Canadian YouTubers with over 3.5 million subscribers and over 1 billion video views.
Holy shit.
But popularity at this level isn't necessary for success. My friend...
I've got 250 subscribers.
Joe Lee is a professional Canadian YouTuber who makes videos about life in Vancouver and was recently able to parlay the popularity of his channel into his own clothing.
I feel like he's saying a boot on purpose. No Canadian actually says a boot. We say a boat if you say the stereotypical way.
Line. He has just 156,000 subscribers and 12 million views, making him the 945th most popular Canadian YouTuber. This should hopefully offer a sense of the size of the YouTuber community as a faction of the Canadian cultural economy. The tremendous success and even worldwide fame of many Canadian YouTubers in the absence of government regulation should invite questions about the necessity of Bill C-11. An unregulated YouTube has been a 17-year experiment, and the result has been an explosion of popular Canadian content produced by Canadians of every imaginable demographic. Now, much of the debate around Bill C-11 has centered on so-called user-generated content, which is often implied to mean frivolous social media posts. But Section 4.2 states that government is interested in regulating content that, quote, generates revenues, which describes the sort of videos professional YouTubers create. Regardless, it is important to understand that it is simply impossible to regulate a platform like YouTube without also regulating creator content. It's like promising not to regulate books while regulating what can be sold in bookstores.
Yeah.
Hence, Section 7 of this bill states that online platforms must, quote, clearly promote and recommend Canadian programming. But what is Canadian programming? We know from the precedent of television that merely having a work produced by a Canadian is not good enough for the CRTC. The nationality of basically everyone involved, from editors to musicians to visual effects artists, must be factored in too. A detailed budget is expected, and the project's theme and subject matter must be explained. The CRTC website features countless forms TV producers must fill out in order to get their work certified as officially Canadian and thus worthy of promotion on Canada's heavily regulated airwaves. Most Canadian YouTubers shudder at the thought that this could soon be our fate as well. Given the broad powers of the CRTC, which Bill C-11 expands to include digital platforms, the Canadian YouTuber community is right to worry that the continued success of their channels could soon be dependent on their ability to make content that's Canadian enough to obtain government endorsement. Even more—
Yeah, that's really fucking stupid. You'll get your views will get suppressed by the Canadian government if your content is not Canadian enough. Like, it's good, as he was saying, it's good to focus on Canadian issues if you're a YouTuber, perhaps. I try to do that, but it's not the main focus of my content, and I'm not a news YouTuber anyway. So, well, like, regardless of what your main focus is, why should you have to cater your content to what the Canadian government says that it should be? That's really fucking stupid.
More ominously, Section 9 of this bill says the CRTC can dictate, quote, the proportion of programs to be broadcast that shall be devoted to specific genres on digital platforms. Given that YouTubers make videos of every genre imaginable, from fitness to architecture to political commentary, it is frankly terrifying to imagine that government may soon have a hand in determining which genres of video are more worthy of promotion than others. In summary, anyone proud of the tremendous success of Canadians on YouTube should be deeply concerned about the damage Bill C-11 could do to their livelihoods. I also worry that the dreams of the next generation of Canadian YouTubers will become less achievable once they're forced to navigate intimidating new regulatory hurdles my generation did not. But most of all, I fear the damage that will be done to Canada's legacy as a global leader of cultural entrepreneurship once our online creators are forced to make narrowly nationalistic content under duress in order to win the favor of a government in denial of what we've accomplished on our own. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think that's a decent summary. Yeah, this is a really fucked up bill, and, you know, like, if it does pass, I'll still keep making videos because I started my YouTube channel for fun in the first place, but it's really fucking stupid, and I'll have no hope of growing my channel, really. And like, everyone who's already successful, all of their videos will get fucking severely suppressed by the algorithm if their content isn't Canadian enough. And there are all sorts of other censorship rules here, as I talk about, like, if you aren't nice enough to marginalize people and all that sort of shit. So I'm going to just read the summary of the bill here because it's really long and it's in complex, boring legal language, and then I'll just show I'll show this petition first. So you don't need to look at all this, but as I said, I'll include this in the description of the video, and I think you maybe have to be Canadian, but please double check about that. I'm pretty sure that's the case though. But please sign this petition, especially if you're Canadian, and try to prevent this bill from getting passed because it's really fucking bad news. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to just read the summary of the bill here because it's really complicated. And as you'll see here, it's really fucking ambiguous legal language too. So this enactment amends the Broadcasting Act to, among other things, add online undertakings for the transmission Okay. Update the broadcasting policy for Canada set out in Section 3 of the Act by, among other things, providing that the Canadian broadcasting system should serve the needs and interests of all Canadians, including Canadians from racialized communities and Canadians of diverse ethno-cultural backgrounds, socioeconomic statuses, abilities and disabilities, sexual orientations, gender identities and expressions, and ages, and provide opportunities to Indigenous persons, programming that reflects Indigenous cultures and that is in Indigenous languages, and programming that is accessible without barriers to the person with disabilities. You see all this fucking shit, man? Like, you have to cater your content to minorities of people and marginalized people. There's nothing wrong with making videos propping up these people, but this is saying that every fucking YouTuber should lean towards this direction at least, and that's like completely fucking stupid. Like, why? It's just, this is like a fucking enormous goddamn overreach. It's so fucking stupid. All right, so specify that the Canadian Radio, Television, and Telecommunications Commission, the Commission must regulate and supervise the Canadian broadcasting system in a manner that takes into account the different characterizations of English, French, and Indigenous language broadcasting, and the different conditions under which broadcasting undertakings that provide English, French, or Indigenous language and programming operate. Same shit, basically. You have to be inclusive of everyone in every video, apparently, even if you want to make a video that has nothing to do with any of these topics. Takes into the account the variety of broadcasting undertakings to which the Act applies, and avoids imposing obligations on any class of broadcasting undertakings if that imposition will not contribute in a material manner to the implementation of broadcasting policy. Amend the procedure relating to the issuance by the Governor and Council of policy directions to the Commission. I don't really know what any of that means. So, yeah. Allow for the imposition of administrative monetary penalties for violations of certain provisions of that Act or of the Accessible Canada Act. So you can literally get a fucking fine if your YouTube content does not meet the requirements of Bill C-11, if your content is not Canadian enough, or if it's not nice enough to marginalize groups of people, or if it's not inclusive of different languages and people of different races and genders and classes. And like, why? A lot of people don't even make YouTube videos that has anything even remotely to do with any of this shit. Some people don't, like he said, some people make videos about architecture, fitness, and none of that has, well, maybe fitness to an extent has something to do with physical, because it has to do with physical characteristics of people. But yeah, anyway, like, this is fucking ridiculous, man. That's basically the gist of this terrible fucking bill that they're proposing. So, like I said, especially if you're Canadian, please sign this petition that I am including in the description of this video. And yeah, I just thought this was really alarming. I don't really usually like to get into the weeds of politics and stuff like this, but I think this is a really alarming bill, and I think it's awful. It's a fucking awful idea for it to pass, because the government should not fucking nationalize Canadian YouTube. This is fucking ridiculous. So again, please sign that petition in the description of this video. All right, so yeah, like I said, I thought this was an important issue to discuss. Thanks everyone for watching. Plus, press that like button on the video. Share this, everyone. Everywhere. Share the petition with everyone. Click that like button, subscribe button. Click that bell to be notified when I come out with new videos. This weekend, we're finally going to be doing that podcast. Me, Dusty, and Chris are going to be talking about Taxi Driver, the 70s movie directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Robert De Niro, which is basically one of the first, or perhaps the first movie about an incel mass shooter. So that'll be fun. And yeah, check out the link for my Patreon in the description of this video. That'll be even more helpful, especially if this fucking shit passes. So that's even more greatly appreciated than usual. Even $1 a month is greatly appreciated, or any amount other than that, 5, 10, 1,000, whatever you want to contribute. And yeah, like I always say, I love you all. Keep being the tiny beam of light that shines through the almost impenetrable darkness in the universe. And most importantly, always remember this: the funk cures all, and groove is in the heart. And like Gandalf says in the thumbnail for this video, you shall not pass, evil Balrog Bill C-11. All right. Thanks again, everyone, and adios until next time.